June 27, 2025. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. Here's what the chart looked like today. Continuing from yesterday, there was kind of a continuation, a rally up in a few legs. It looks like it was a leg up, sell off, another leg up, sideways consolidation, another leg up, and a sell off, sideways consolidation, another sell off, bounce, and then a rally. So it was kind of a choppy day. It looked like a big hill, of a bounce back up. There was the economic data that came out today was the core PCE Price Index number, which just came out at 5:30 Pacific Standard, which is about right here. And it really didn't do all that much. And other than that, there was really no other data that came out. The price action was a little easier to read today, and there were some setups that I drew or I marked and some almost setups. And then these are things that I noticed in real time and I was wondering about them, but they're not really any setups. I was able to take one trade today and it was profitable. And I think looking back, there might have been another trade down here, but most of the trading or most of the setups, I think I have found probably in the first half of the day. So I'll get into the trades right now. For the pre-market, there's like a sell-off, a bounce, move up on this orange up channel, break, move sideways, then it tests the high. So it looks like it's two legs up, pretty far apart. A sell-off on the green down channel, break, test the low, two attempts down, and then it starts pushing on the open. So on the open, it kind of sells off, bounces, and it just moves into the sideways consolidation. No real setups here. Then prices, let me just go ahead and go. When prices continue moving up, it starts looking like it's moving up on this orange up channel. And at this point, this yellow channel exists as a trend line because I had one touch, two touch, three touch. So I'm going to just go ahead and collapse this for now. This is what I was trading with, like a trend channel going up. Prices continue moving up. It hits the high of the pre-market and it breaks out. So it's still following this red up channel, which is fitting pretty nicely. No real clean second entries. It breaks out of this red up channel, but it breaks out sideways. And I'm expecting a test of the highs here, and it kind of does it. So it's just the first attempt up and the first test of the high. Starts moving back down. I'm thinking, so my trading range initially was this. I'm thinking I'm in a trading range. There's a potential fail breakout here. Then it pushes back up. It almost hits the top. It looks like one leg down. Technically, you have a first entry, second entry, but I saw it as one leg down, pull back, and I'm expecting another leg down, coincidentally, to touch the pre-market high. And it does, and it creates this second entry long. So it's actually a visual first entry, pull back, second entry. The second entry is a doji. It did bounce off this pre-market high, the pre-market trading range. And I was a little bit unsure of it. I want to see a higher low, ideally with prices moving back into what I think is a range right now. And it kind of stalls out, so it gives me a little bit of pause. I'm not too eager to jump in on this. Again, now it creates a sub trading range. And when it's been dwelling so long outside this trading range, that's when I actually dragged my larger trading range to encompass this. So now I'm playing the blue trading range, slightly larger, with initially this red line was the initial trading range I was playing with. So I kind of kept it in mind. Maybe there's going to be some kind of reaction where this red line is, but more likely I'm watching this purple trading range right now. It creates a triple test. So it's like one touch, first attempt down fails. Technically a second one, but I saw it as one clear bearish candle, two, a third triple test, and it pushes back up. Now there's a possible trade here because it's bounced off the bottom of this purple trading range and potentially off this larger blue trading range. It's a strong engulfing bar. You can see it move one tick below this guy, engulfs it completely, except it didn't quite close at the top. And what I thought it might have been good enough for 1 point scalp because it is getting close to this potential resistance point. But I didn't really want to take it. And as you can see, it would have worked even for 2-3 points. It pushes up to the highs. So now I'm thinking the trading range is truly this blue one with, a small section down here. Break of the green, pushes up. It starts pushing back into the range. So I'm thinking this is a failed breakout. So my expectation right now is when prices come back down to this side, there might be a corresponding failed breakout here. Here creates a new low, localized new low. I mean, it's not lower than this, but I did the count reset here. I said, say, first entry short, pullback, second entry short. Is this second entry short going to fail? Because it's a pretty decent signal bar. It does fail, but it wasn't a very strong push up and out. So I saw it, but I didn't really particularly like it because it's also pressing towards the high of this trading range and coming from a fail breakout. It hits this consolidation, so I drew this green trading range, and prices are just kind of obeying it, but this is a very tight range. It flushes out, so I'm still expecting a test of the low of this range. Bounces, so here it bounces, it starts moving, and here I saw multiple tests. So also at this point, this yellow trend line support, go ahead and drag this up. I didn't want to do that. I kind of made it match here. So I'm thinking I'm in a larger trading trend channel, but I don't trust the highs necessarily all that much yet. I trust the lows a little bit better. If I see this, I see a multiple test. This is clearly some kind of support here. There's a failed breakout here, or if you drew it and dragged it up to here, then you could say there was no breakout here. But at the time, I was still trading it as a potential failed breakout with a potential come back down and break through on this side. So I'm seeing multiple tests, and now I see this. I like this follow through. So it looks like it was kind of like two legs down. This support is clearly holding, so I was more inclined to believe that this is the top of the trading range and it might not have been a failed breakout. So I like this. I like the follow through. I like that this candle is closing at the highs. So I'm expecting a bounce with a decent move up, potentially all the way up to here. So I enter the trade one tick above the original signal bar to try to save me a little bit of risk. Because typically you put it right above here. So I dropped it one tick above here, got filled, moves up, and up here I get my 2-point scalp, which made me pretty happy. I wasn't going to try to press for anything more. I was thinking if this this blue line truly is the trading range, then I might be running into right about where the midpoint is. And there could be these smaller sub overlapping ranges. So I wasn't really quite clear. So I thought 2 was good enough. Just get in, get out, and take the profit. Break of the orange up channel, test the high, starts pressing down, bounces here. So I actually like this yellow trend line support right now of this yellow upper channel. It's a little off. It bounces here, it creates a higher low. So this is actually a localized low. First entry short pullback, second entry short, second entry short. I see this as an inside bar. I'm not that happy with it, but then I see it bounce and close high. So I actually thought this is a possible trade. Bounce off this yellow confirms channel support, good signal bar close, enough room to the high, and it confirms the failed second entry short on a clearly bullish section. So this would have worked for 1 or 2 points, pushes, and I'm watching this carefully. It breaks out, tests the high, and it keeps going. Now I'm sitting on my hands. I think it's moving up on this green up channel. Break, test the high of the green up channel. Up channel may have played out, but it's too early to say right now because it's been very strong. This trade would have been perfect if you had a runner because you would have been able to drag it all the way up to, probably get stopped out right about here. But that is a pretty decent profit take. Then prices start moving sideways. The first entry long, technically if a second entry long here is a bad signal bar and it's just ranging. So it pushes down. So this is what I saw in real time. I really wanted this to have a better close because it was a new high, localized, because count reset. First entry long pullback, second entry long, potential fail breakout, potential move back in. Second entry long, what I didn't like was it had kind of a tail here. If this had closed at the high, then I think I probably would have tried to jump on this trade. Or this tail didn't exist, but it still needed to be above or bigger than this guy. In this case, it worked. So I was watching in real time, decided to leave it alone. I really couldn't justify it. Now it keeps moving. Fail breakout here. Corresponding fail breakout here. Moves back down. I'm trusting this blue trading range pretty well now or I've trusted a lot more because it looks like it is acting as a strong support. So I'm expecting just sideways chops at the moment. Pushes up and out and it starts kind of reversing back down. So when it gets to here, I'm watching this yellow channel support really carefully. So I'm seeing if there's going to be a bounce here. There's technically a new high, first entry long pullback, second entry long. But I saw it as a better visual potential first entry, pullback, second entry. I'm reluctant to take it just yet. I want to see a higher low bounce and close inside this yellow trendline support. So it breaks through, so that's okay. I'm still expecting maybe a move back in. I don't like this doji. Starts pushing back up. Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, first entry long pullback, second entry long visual. I'm looking for a higher low inside this yellow up channel. You don't quite get it, so you still don't have a higher low. For a higher low to form, I need the next candle after this guy to close above this guy. And it doesn't happen. So I'm abandoning any search for a higher low at this point, just kind of sitting on my hands. Pushes down. You only have a first entry short. Comes back down. You have a first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short. It's a little congested. Add this a little tighter, like there. I wanted a touch rejection off the EMA and a better close. And even if that did happen, it just feels very, this is what you see in real time. It doesn't feel like there's that much, yet a 1-2 point scalp. It'll just be barely, and it feels a little risky. Pushes down, bounces. I like this signal bar. I was thinking, playing off the strength of this green down channel, that this could be a possible short. But other than a first entry short and a rejection off this green down channel, you do have the EMA, but it just left me really tempted to take this trade because this is also just a 6-tick risk because the signal bar is only 6 ticks. I want to see what happens next, and I see it moves up, it flushes all the way down. So the hunch would have worked out, but not, it didn't have, I guess, strong enough justification. And seeing this definitely had me feeling FOMO because I saw, oh, clearly it went from 62.29 all the way down to 62, roughly 62.25. So that's easily a 3-point scalp. But again, just seeing this one in real time is hard for me to justify it. Pushes down and it breaks down through the other side. First entry short and just keeps going down. Again, you have a first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short, but it's kind of out in the middle of nowhere inside to this big green bar, so I'm just leaving it alone. That chops around sideways. New high, first entry long, pull back. You also have a new low, first entry short. So right here, it's just sideways. I'm thinking the market has pulled back so much, I'm reluctant to just say go long because it might continue up here, but I highly doubt it. But I'm also reluctant to say go short because it's a little choppy, a little ambiguous. It is making lower lows every time and lower highs, but there's no real clear setup yet. Pushes out and through. I saw this as a potential fail breakout. Pushes up the high. You could maybe argue there might be a triple test, but it doesn't really quite have it. Plus, there's only a first entry short. Pushes back out. You have account resets, a new high, it's a new low, first entry short, second entry short. Clearly, prices are moving back in. Test of this high has been made, 1 attempt, 2 attempt. I saw this as a potential multiple test, decent signal bar. The thing that stopped me was the EMA might be coming into play. It was acting as resistance previously. Is it going to act as support? Am I going to have a bounce? I thought the better option, even though there's a multiple test here, would have been waiting for a lower high. Clearly, when it's inside this trading range, or if the EMA just didn't add a little bit of ambiguity here, if it was either way above or way below, then I would have felt a little more confident. Prices then continue moving down, bounces, and it flushes down, continues to move down. Starts moving down what I think is this yellow down channel, but it's not that clear. And then starts moving sideways. Never touches the EMA, just continues downwards. It's a bounce. First entry short, pull back. Technically, you have a second entry short here, but it's a bad signal bar. Kind of consolidates. It breaks. It looks like it's 2 legs up. It breaks. I'm wondering if it's going to try to test the high. If the next candle creates a lower high, in other words, the next candle after this guy opens, picks above but this guy by at least 1, but stays within this channel and then flushes down and still closes at the low, then I want to jump on that trade. So I'm watching here really carefully. And it doesn't do that. It just kind of continues down. Now I'm not thinking of taking a short because it is hitting the low of day. So again, I'm just sitting on my hands waiting. And it continues downward. Unfortunately, there was no way for me to enter this. New low, first entry short. Nope, don't get it. Kind of keep pushing up. Break of this orange. I'm wondering if it's going to bounce off the EMA now and test the extreme. It looks like it was about to do it here, but it doesn't. It continues back down. So clearly, Now I'm expecting a test of this yellow down channel. Bounces, you only have first entry long. Technically, you have a second entry long here. It's a bad signal bar, but you have successfully tested the low of this yellow down channel. Starts moving sideways, creates a failed second entry short, or what I suspect is a failed second entry short, U low, first entry short, pull back, second entry short, looks like it's about to fail, except I don't like that it's you'd be buying into this potential consolidation range here, and you have the EMA that might act as resistance because it has kind of acted as resistance before. It's a failed breakout, but it quickly got pulled, prices quickly got pulled back in. But then it creates this higher low. So now I'm thinking this is a possible trade, and here's why. The break of this yellow down channel has tested low, right? Tested low. The break of this green down channel also has a break. Well, break, 2 attempts down. It fails. It looks like it's moving back up. This looks like it's starting to reverse. I drew this as a trend line, and initially it was tighter because you're going to see why I dragged it up a little wider next time. But here it looks like it's enough for a quick 1 point scalp. I think it would have been a worthwhile trade, but I just, wasn't really sure. Pushes up, so one of these would have given you 1 to 2 points. It's holding inside this orange up channel pretty nicely. It breaks out and starts drifting up. I was wondering if this is truly a failed breakout or was this closer to something like this. With the bounce and no breakout on this side, that's where I dragged because I was expecting a breakdown here, but it never happens and it keeps going up. So that's where I decided, okay, there was no break. Dragged it up to here. So this is what I'm playing. The first entry long, pull back. Technically, I have a second entry long here. It's a doji, not a big fan. Starts moving up and continues moving up. This is really nice. It's very orderly, but there was no way for me to enter unless I had entered way down here. The breakout here, test makes a corresponding break here. Still a first entry long, and it just keeps going. So I'm just watching, but it is getting close to the end of the day. To be honest, right when it hit about 12:45 Pacific Standard, I kind of decided that, there was, well, at 12:30, I decided I wasn't going to take any more trades. And so I was just kind of watching, looking if there was any kind of setups here. Got orderly move up, new high, first entry long, pull back. Technically I have a second entry long here, but that's just it. It's just a technical second entry long. Drop sideways, and it sells off below the EMA into the close. So today wasn't too bad. It felt like prices were trying to do something, although it was a little slow. Overall volume this whole week hasn't been all that high, but yesterday I felt was easier to trade, and today was more so-so. But all the previous days and last week, I would say trading was very slow, very meandering, not much setup. So today is certainly more welcome. Definitely yesterday I thought was better, but good enough. Hopefully going forward, we just get more days like this Thursday, yesterday, and Friday. So hopefully that was helpful.